GlobalLinker has enabled the reinvention of many of the 300,000 plus SMEs globally, helping them to create an online presence and grow their businesses in a new digital world. You too can grow your business with GlobalLinker. Create your digital profile so more people can discover your business and connect with you. Create digital business catalogs. GlobalLinker has enabled the reinvention of many of the 300,000 plus SMEs globally, helping them to create an online presence and grow their businesses in a new digital world. You too can grow your business with GlobalLinker. Create your digital profile so more people can discover your business and connect with you. Create digital business catalogs. GlobalLinker has enabled the reinvention of many of the 300,000.
My apologies for that.
Over 1 million new connections have been made between buyers, suppliers, investors, peers and experts. Create your own e-commerce store for free in minutes. Consumers are going digital and your business needs to as well. GlobalLinker has helped tens of thousands to go online for the first time. Benefit from over 100 specially curated business offers and more. Access online training sessions to grow your business. Participate in international digital fairs. We help businesses like you digitize in a matter of minutes and thrive even in challenging times.
GlobalLinker forms a brilliant part of networking, especially because all of us today are pretty much connected via the net. So you can reach out to a large number of potential clients through a platform like GlobalLinker.
The fact that GlobalLinker can also offer, services like getting your website built, your e-commerce store built, it's really, really invaluable.
GlobalLinker ensures that there is a platform for genuine business contacts to be developed, B2B contacts, which are very important for any business in terms of procurement or in terms of the sales end as well.
We feel that this kind of initiative will increase India's globalization move. We can tie up with the different SMEs who are operating across the globe.
Visit GlobalLinker every day and download the mobile app to stay connected. GlobalLinker, making SME business growth simpler, more profitable and enjoyable.
So once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. And
he possesses a varied mix of global experiences spanning.
Apology for that. So once again, good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar. And first of all, thank you everyone for taking out time and joining us today in this webinar. As you already know, the objective of this webinar is to help you understand how can you create an e-commerce website for yourself, and that too at zero cost. So how can you do that? And that's a reality, and how you can do that for yourself is exactly what I'll be explaining to you in today's webinar. Now, how can you benefit the most out of this webinar? By clarifying all the doubts or questions that you may have. So let's understand how we can both benefit the best out of it. So one is whenever you have a question, whenever you have a query, please feel free to ask that question. How can you ask the question? You can ask the question using the comment capability, or you can ask the question using the question section. And to make it more attractive or make it more interactive, what I'll be doing is after every section that I'm explaining today, I will take a pause and I'll try to answer all the questions that are there related to that particular topic. And we'll also use a lot of gestures which are available thanks to Zoom. So we'll try to keep it as interactive as possible. So let's get started with today's webinar on how to create an e-commerce website for yourself at no cost. So let's get started with it. And once again, before starting, thank you for taking out time and joining this webinar. And now I will start sharing my screen, and I'll definitely try to speak slower so that everyone can understand. So now I'll start sharing my screen. But before I do that, I'll just take one moment to ensure that everything is working fine. So just one moment to ensure that everything seems to be working fine. I'm enjoying this webinar, and now I will. All right. Perfect. So let's get started. And as I mentioned earlier, if you have a question, if you have a query, raise your hand, and I may not be able to unmute you, but I'll see if I can unmute you, and then we can have a discussion here, or otherwise you can ask your question using the chat capability or the question answer capability, whichever is convenient for you. So this is where I'll be starting to share my screen. And once again, if you have a question, if you have a query, then please do feel free to ask your question. All right, so this is where we get started. So I hope the screen is visible to everyone. I'll just take one moment to see that everything is working fine. So everything seems to be working fine. And I'll be doing a live demonstration. So I'll not take you through any presentation or show a video. I'll do it right here, right in front of you. And I'll show you how you can create an e-commerce website for yourself at zero cost. Now, there are two parts or two psychological challenges when I say this to a common person. One, creating an e-commerce website is considered to be too technical. But thanks to the advancement of technology, now you can do it very easily. And I'll show you how easy and simple that is. So you can not only create an e-commerce website, you can also manage it. So that's the first apprehension or myth that a lot of people have. The second one is it is expensive to create and manage, and that's where the GlobalLinker's capability comes into play. And our objective is to help SMEs, MSMEs to digitize themselves and grow their business digitally. And that's where this particular capability is available to you at zero cost. So circling back to our discussion, that is, how can you create an e-commerce website for yourself? So the first step that you have to do is to create an account on GlobalLinker, and which, for the benefit of time, I've already done. So this is a demonstration account that you're seeing on the screen. Now, can I know how many members are there who don't have a GlobalLinker account with us? You can raise your hand. Is there anyone who does not have a GlobalLinker account? I'm waiting for your responses. So anyone? Just raise your hand, and I think, yeah, so I can see there are two people who don't have a GlobalLinker account. So not a problem. It is a very simple and straightforward process. All you have to do is to go to globallinker.com, and then within 5 minutes, you'll be able to create a GlobalLinker account for yourself. It is very simple, straightforward process. In first screen, you have to enter your email ID and create a password. And then you have to, if you have a GST number, you can verify that and enter your GST details. If not, in the third screen, you have to enter your company name, whether it is a proprietorship or not, address, and then which industry do you represent, and then your GlobalLinker account gets created. So you'll reach here. This is the kind of screen. Now we will be commencing our eStore creation journey. However, when you are creating your GlobalLinker account, please do update your personal as well as your business profile, because GlobalLinker is a community of business owners. So you'll not find a professional here. They are all business owners, and you would also love to network and interact with other business owners. And that will happen once you have your personal and business profile updated. So very easy. You can click on these edit icons that you're seeing here, and then you'll be able to update your personal and business profile. So let's move on to start our journey. How can you create an e-commerce website? First step, in the navigation, you'll see online store, and then you have to click on get started. Or you can just click on the online store, and it will show you this button, or it will take you to this button, page. And here you have to click on get started, which will open the seller panel of your online store in the next tab, and you can start the eStore creation journey. So very simple. After creating a GlobalLinker account, just click on online store and then click on the get started button, and then the eStore creation tab will open up in the next tab on your browser. So far, I'm assuming everyone is clear and have understood the process. If not, you can raise your hand, or you can just chat your question and I can repeat that. So once you have reached here, and the very first screen that you'll see is this particular screen, which is terms of service. So all you have to do is to just basically review this. And once you have done, you have to click on I agree, and you can simply get started. So this is the next screen, and this is where you'll see there is a 5-step process, which you can see on the top on the header. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5. And other than that, you will notice that everything else on the panel is deactivated. So why it is so? Because we want our members to move through a preset channel, and they don't get distracted, because again, this is a complicated topic as such, and a lot of people have their own confusions and concerns. And if it is an open pathway, then a lot of people will get distracted or deviated. So this is a channel that you follow, and at the end, you'll have an eStore that is reasonably ready, and we'll all do that together in this session. So once you have agreed to terms of service, on this screen, you have to just basically select a theme. However, before I do that, so I have to just click on this button, and we'll move on to the next step. Before I do that, I'll try to answer few questions that are very frequently asked to me whenever I'm doing similar kind of a session. So the first question that gets asked, it is more of a confusion than a question, and that is this particular theme only for furniture? So the theme that I'm highlighting, and let me also activate the annotation tool so that you can keep highlighting the elements that I'm referring to. Just give me a couple of seconds to activate that. Sorry. Yeah, so I think now I have the annotation tool activated. So for example, I'm referring to this particular theme. So is this theme only for furniture, or is this theme only for perfume and cosmetics, or is this theme only for electronics item? No, any theme can be used for any product. The product images as such that you're seeing here, they are just for reference. They are just for example purpose in very simple word. So you can use any theme. It does not mean that if you are a vegetable seller, then only this theme can be used. You can use any theme as per your requirement. So that's one myth that a lot of people have. The second point is that today we are choosing this theme. What if tomorrow I don't like this theme and I would want to change it? Is it possible? Will I be able to do that? Yes, you will be able to do that on a click of a button. So not to worry, even if you are choosing a theme and tomorrow you don't like it for some reason, not a problem. You'll be able to change it, and even on a click of a button in a second. So for today's demonstration, we'll just choose this particular theme, which is Cascade. So I'll click on select theme, and we'll move to the next stage. And this is the second stage where we have reached. So far, I'm assuming the first stage was very simple and straightforward. So I'm not asking anyone to share their question. However, we'll take a break after this stage. So if there are any questions that the members have, we'll try to answer them. All right, so in this stage, you'll see there are two sections on the page. So there's an information section, and then there is a contact details section. Now, you will also see that a lot of information is pre-populated. So here, two sections are pre-populated, and here also three sections are pre-populated. So from where this information has come. So this is again pre-populated based on the information that you have entered while creating your GlobalLinker account. So the information that I've entered in my GlobalLinker account, and for a moment, I'm just navigating to GlobalLinker account just to highlight this. So this is the company name that I've added, and this is my personal name, which is not used there. So this is where when I'm here, so you can see Elegant Enterprises and is pre-populated. Now this can be your business name. If Elegant Enterprises is the business name, it can be your business name, or it can be your brand name as well. So a lot of time businesses their own brands, and they would not want to name their stores by the brand name. So whatever the scenario is, you can name it appropriately, and it is an editable field. So it is not necessary that what your business name is, you have to use the same name here. You can edit it as well. This is only for your convenience that it is pre-populated, and you can make modifications to it. Now, moving on to the second part, and which is the question magnet, I would say. This particular element attracts most amount of questions when it comes to the e-commerce store creation part. The first and the most common question that gets asked, and which is a logical one as well, that I own a domain. So I have, for example, I have a elegantenterprises.com. Can I use that? So if I'm creating an online store, if I'm creating an e-commerce website using GlobalLinker solution, can I use my own domain and have this online website, e-commerce website live on my domain? Yes, absolutely. You'll be able to do that. And again, in matter of just 15 minutes, very easily, you have a very guided flow for that, so that anyone with zero technical knowledge will be able to do that. So that is the first common question that gets asked. The second one is, I would say, not technical, but again, equally logical or important as such. So for that, what I'll do is I'll also open another tab and open Google. So the second question that is asked and which I was referring to is, what is a URL? So you are here and you're seeing select URL. What is a URL? A basic one, but very important to understand, and equally logical one as well. So this is where to open Google, what I typed in the browser was google.com. Similarly, when someone has to open your e-commerce website or your e-commerce store, what should they type? So that's exactly what you have to mention there. So that's about the URL. Now, the third question, which is related to it, which gets asked is, can we edit this? So at this moment, you can see it is an editable field, so I can make changes to it. But even after the store is completed, if you want, you can make changes to it. The fourth question that gets asked, and again, in the same progression, is there a charge to use Linker.store domain? Because it is GlobalLinker's domain, Linker.store. So is there a charge that we have to pay? No, there is no charge for using Linker.store. You can continue to use it for as long as you want. So these were the four common questions. I just thought of answering them already so that I can clarify all the doubts that you may have. But still, if there is any other question related to this, I'll be more than happy to answer that. After that, the next element that you'll see here is store currency. And this is where you'll see a drop down. So you can choose between INR and USD. So if you desire to sell only to international customers, then you can choose USD. Otherwise, you can choose the INR. So moving on to the next element, which is store description. And this is where you have to briefly describe about your business. You don't have to write too much details. You can create a about us page and add whatever information you would want to add. This is where you are in a short, crisp, like an elevator pitch, you are just telling the person, whosoever is viewing this information, that what this website is all about, what kind of products or services you retail, for how long you have been in business, and what are the USPs. So very short, crisp, and precise. You have to enter the information about the business. So for now, I'll just add a little couple of words here. Moving on, then you'll see an option to add store logo, and then adjacent to that, there's a provision to add Favicon or Favicon. If pronounced properly, a lot of people pronounce it as Favicon, but it is Favicon. So logo is very simple and straightforward. Or if you have to upload the logo, all you have to do is to click on logo, which will basically allow you to upload it from your device. Now let me just clear these annotations. I'll just navigate to the correct folder, and so I have this logo already on my device. So I'll just select that logo, and it is getting uploaded. Now, as I was mentioning, the second element that we have to upload here is the Fav icon. So we have to follow the same process that we had done earlier. So we have to click on the Fav icon and then select it from our device. Now the question comes, what should be the ideal dimensions? So for the store logo, it will totally depend on your business logo, and you can upload it accordingly. It should fit perfectly. However, if you have a rectangular logo, a landscape logo, in that case, it may not appear properly, especially when the link is getting shared on social media platforms. So that's where you'll see this additional provision, which is just underneath the logo. So this is the section that I'm referring to. So if you have a landscape or a rectangular logo, then what will happen when the store's link? So for example, I'm a customer, I like a product, and I've shared the link to one of my friends. Check out this product. And that's where when the link is getting shared, so you'll see the, a preview of that product or preview of that website is shown there. So that's where your logo will not appear properly, especially for those kinds of landscape or rectangular logos that happen very frequently. And that's where this provision is provided of social media logo. And this is where you have to upload a 200 pixel by 200 pixel square logo, and that will appear perfectly. So again, very simple and straightforward process as we did earlier. Just click on it. Although I have a square logo, so I don't need it, but for your reference, I'll just do that. Now we are just moving to the second section on this page, and this is where you'll see the phone number. Now this is where you have to add a number that will be displayed to the customer. Although you have a flexibility, you can turn off the visibility. So if you're not comfortable or that you display your contact number on the store, you can turn it off. But this is typically your sales number or your customer care number where people can connect. While the information is getting populated from your GlobalLinker account, that's where the number that you had entered while creating your GlobalLinker account is showcased here. So it is up to you. You can edit it, replace it, and change it as per your requirement. Just underneath that, you'll see admin phone number. So what is the difference between the store phone number and admin phone number? So admin phone number is basically the store owner's phone number or the store administrator's phone number. And this is where all the updates which are related to the eStore. So for example, the logistic company wants to send you an SMS update, or your payment operator wants to send you SMS updates. So all those updates will come to that number. So the first number is the number which will get displayed to the general public. The second number is your number where you'll get all the updates. Now, moving on, after that, you'll see the store email, which is again pre-populated based on the information that you had entered while creating your account. Now, this is again getting displayed on the front end of the store. So if you want to make change to it, you can do that very easily. Very simple and straightforward process that you can you can edit it. So let me just show it to you. Right, so you can like this, you'll be able to edit it. For now, I'll not make any changes to it. Now moving just underneath that, you'll see the address, and which is again populated here, but it is not the complete address, so you'll have to modify it. If the address is long, you can basically break it into 2 lines if required. So I'll also edit it, so this is not needed. All right, so now moving on to the next section, which is a city, and this is where you have to type the city name. So you have to just start typing, and this is where I'll request everyone to pay a little attention, because this is not where you just go on and you just type the city name. You have to start typing. So for example, I'm trying to type, let's use a common city. So if I'm trying to add address of Mumbai. So you can see it has started appearing in the drop down below. So I have to select from it. So you start typing, or for that matter, if I'm changing it to another city. So you can see as I started typing, the responses have the appropriate response has started appearing in the drop down. So I have to select it from the drop down. So once I've done that, I can move to the next field, which is product code, and this is where you have to type, sorry, not the product code, it is postal code, and this is where you have to type the pin code of your business location. And finally, you move to the next or the last element on this page, which is product type. And this is where, again, a lot of people get confused. What is product type? Inquiry and checkout, there are 2 options available. What should we choose? So I'll explain this with an example. So if you are, let's say, an exporter, or you're a service provider, or you sell industrial products, and it is difficult for you to quote a price, or you want or those products are not sold online, but you would want to have an online catalog to showcase what product or services you offer, and a prospective customer should connect with you. Instead of buying the product, they should connect with you that I'm interested to buy your product or services. In that case, you choose inquiry. In other cases where you are comfortable that people can buy your product or buy your services, or you want a mix of certain products or services which can be sold online, which people can buy, and there are others which they can request inquiry, in that case, you choose checkout. So I'll repeat this once again for everyone's reference, so that there's no confusion. So if you are looking to have both the options, where you want certain products to be sold online, and you want certain products wherein an inquiry can be shared with you, so in that case, you choose checkout. If you are looking for only receiving inquiries, you are not comfortable selling products online, or it is not practically possible to sell products online, it requires to have information from your customers, etc. In that case, you will choose the inquiry option, which is here. In that case, every product on your online store will only be inquiry, whereas if you're choosing checkout, in that case, you can have both the worlds. So you can have products that can be sold online, and then products where you can receive inquiry from the customer. So that was about product type. So for today's demonstration, we'll choose checkout, and at the last stage, we have to just click on terms of use and click on next, and we'll move on to the next stage. And this is where any question so far? Let's take a quick break. So any questions so far, you can please chat your question, or you can. So I can see there's one question which is around can we have both the options INR and USD. So very soon we are rolling out a capability wherein you can set up international rates, and based on the location of the person, the price will automatically change. So the next question that I can see is custom domain paid? So custom domain, using custom domain on the platform is not paid. So you can use it, but you have to buy your own domain from a domain provider like GoDaddy or BigRock. So that is where, of course, it is paid. Do you have a payment gateway? Yes, of course, we have a number of payment gateways, and we will be coming to that on the fourth step. So just stay with us. In one step after that, we'll be having a discussion about the entire payment setup. So these were the questions that I could see in the chat, and there are. So another question that I am seeing is, are all themes free for use? So yes, all the themes are free for use. Do we have a multiple phone app or? There's a question about the mobile phone app. So yes, GlobalLinker eStore can be managed using the GlobalLinker mobile app, if that was the question. A related question, if there is a store app to manage the store online, yes, the store's control panel can be managed from your smartphone using a browser, or if you want, it can be managed using the GlobalLinker mobile app as well. I'm not entirely clear. There is a question around marketplace. So that's where I'll park it for now, and we'll try to have a discussion towards the end of the session. I'm not entirely clear on that. So how to apply a custom domain? I'll see if time permitted. I'll note it down, and I'll share it with you how it is done. And also about the marketplace question. I'm noting both of them down, and then I think let's proceed ahead with our discussion. All right, so for now, I'll click on next, and we'll move on to the third step, and that is where we have to upload one product. So we are just going there. I believe internet is a little slow today. So I think because of that, yes, so the screen is loaded in front of us, and in this screen, or in this stage in the eStore creation journey, we have to upload a product. So a lot of people ask me this question, that don't you have a bulk upload process? Yes, of course, we have the bulk upload process, but for the convenience of our members, because it is not required at this stage, because what we want is to create an online store and to a reasonable extent. So that's where a product, one product should suffice. And second is uploading that many product may not be required at this stage, so that can be done at a later stage, because populating that Excel file itself will take some time, and we don't want to detract people or to take away from this process. So that's where it becomes easy. The most important reason is that when people are doing through this process, it is very relatable and easy to do as compared to doing it on an Excel file. So if you're someone who hasn't done that already, it will be very intimidating, whereas here it is very simple, and the terms or the terminology that you're seeing on the screen is very easy to understand and relate to, and that's where people find it easy, and that's why it is kept here. But of course, we have the bulk upload capability also available. So this is where we have to upload one product, and I'll be uploading a very common product that all of us use. In fact, we are all using it right here, right now as well. That is shoes. So I'll just upload sports shoes. Now, for the members who are in trading business, so they are basically selling products which are created by other brands, it is a very simple and straightforward thing to add the product name. However, what happens if you are a manufacturer? How do you decide the product name? A lot of people do that using their own wish, so I can name my product accordingly. There's some little advice that I would want to share here, especially if you're a manufacturer. While you're naming your product, you can use this tool. It's a Google tool which is free. It's called Google Keyword Planner. And you can search. So, for example, if you are in shoes, you can go there and you can search for shoes, and it will give you what kind of searches, what kind of popular searches which are happening over the internet. And it will give you a sense what are the terms or what are the word or what are the phrases that people use. And you can try to incorporate them in your product title, in your product description. That will not only give you a better search ranking, but will also make the products relatable to the terminology that customers are using. Now, shoe is a very common example that I gave, but for any product, if you follow that kind of a process, that will help you in both the spheres, better search ranking, as well as the products are more relatable to you or to the customer. Sorry for that. So the next element that you will see here, and this is where you can link it back to the discussion that we were having in the previous screen, that is checkout and inquiry. And this is where on the product itself, you get this flexibility that you can choose whether the product is checkout or whether the product is inquiry. So if you're choosing inquiry, you can also choose not to show the price. If it is up to you whether you would want to show the price or you would want to hide it. For today's demonstration, I'll be just choosing checkout. And this is where we are adding a selling price. Now, selling price also means the MRP of the product. A lot of people confuse it with the price at which we would want to sell it to the customer. That is not the case. Selling price means the MRP. The price at which you can or you would want to sell it to the customer is the discounted price, which you are just seeing adjacent to it. And this is where, for example, the MRP of the product is 1,000 and I want to sell it for 900, giving a 100 rupees discount. So that's how I can add it, but it is optional. You can add it at a later stage as well, as per your requirement. Now, moving down, you'll see summary, and this is where you have to briefly describe the product. So this is where you don't have to actually add too much information. You have to, as the title suggests, you just summarize the product, a few lines over the product, and then you can add features, specifications, or benefits of the product. So now those can be added down there. Now, why do I say that? A logical question that might be coming to your mind. Why is he saying that you don't add information, you just summarize the product and only add very brief information about that? So there are two reasons for it. One is an aesthetic one, that if you add too much information here, and being conscious of the fact, and a lot of people don't do that, especially my generation, because we grow up with computers and laptop, and if asked, we always visualize on a laptop screen, but the reality or the harsh reality is that majority of the browsing is happening on mobile devices, and we never visualize on a mobile screen. So the first aesthetic challenge, what happens is if you are adding too much information in here, then the page will be too long and the person will have to do multiple scrolls just to go through the entire information. The second is more psychological. So if you're adding too much information here, that becomes kind of an information overload, and that kind of puts off a lot of people. So imagine yourself, if I give you two pieces of text, one is basically 5 bullet points and second is 5 paragraphs, which will be easier for you to choose, or which will be easier for you to read and understand. Obviously the 5 bullet points, and that's where you would not want to put your customer into that kind of a situation that they have to go through a lot of information. You would not want to give a information overload to the customers. You are just wanting to attract them and engage them, and that's where this sharing precise and sharp piece of information helps at this stage. So this is where, when I say that you have to briefly describe the product. Now, in addition to adding the text information, which you can use all these tools to format it very beautifully, in addition to that, you also get an option to add a table. If you want, you can add that. You can add a picture here in the description as well. Yeah. in addition to the product image or product visuals that you'll be adding. Now, in addition to that, you can also add a video. So that option is also available. If you have a video, please do add. And if you want, you can use the HTML code to beautify the content which you will be adding here. So for today's demonstration, I'll just add a couple of words here. Sorry. All right. Now moving down, and this is where you'll see SKU and product code. So first I'll explain about the SKU code, and then we'll move on to the product code. And SKU code, it's an abbreviation for stock keeping unit, but I'll explain the concept in a very common terminology. And this is where, if you recall, in our college days or in our school days, we used to have roll numbers, and we were all identified by the roll numbers. Similarly, if the system has to identify each and every product, that's where it uses SKU. So this is the unique identifier. So two products can't have the same SKU code, and that's how the system identifies. And it is the only piece of information you cannot edit for a product. Everything else, you can edit the product title, you can even edit the product code, you can edit every information, image, etc., but you can't edit a SKU code. You have to delete and re-upload the product if the SKU code is wrong. But this is the unique identifier for everyone's reference. Now, for the people who already have some kind of a inventory management system or inventory register, they have SKU code, they can add it here. But what you have to keep in mind is an alphanumeric value can be added here. So I can have, like, say, ABC 1, 2, 3. So all the alphabet and all the numbers. Now, in addition to that, you can also have dash. So I can have ABC dash 1, 2, 3, or I can have ABC underscore 1, 2, 3. But I can't have ABC space 1, 2, 3 or ABC @ 1, 2, 3 or ABC hashtag 1, 2, 3. I can't have those. So that's an important point that you should keep in mind. So I'll just create one. So this is ABC underscore 1, 2, 3, the product code that or the SKU code that we'll be using. Now, just adjacent to that, you'll see product code. Now, what is the difference? Product code, SKU code, we have already entered. What is product code? So product code is used to identify products that has variant. Now, again, I'll explain with an example. So there are products that have variant, and a common example is, again, the product that we are uploading, shoes. So same shoe available in different sizes. Another common example, t-shirts, same t-shirt available in different sizes. Even the edible items. So let's say sugar, it comes in different pack sizes, or rice, it comes in different pack sizes, 500 gram, 1 kg, 2 kg, 5 kg, 25 kg. So different pack sizes for the same product. So if you are uploading any of those kind of product where it has variant, in that case, you have to add a product code, and that's how the system identifies it is a product that has variant. If you're not uploading a product, so you're uploading, let's say, a mouse, or you're uploading a pencil, pen, those kind of product that does not have variant, in that case, you'll just leave it blank. So for now, because we are uploading a product that has variant, so in that case, we'll just add a variant code there. So, right. So I've added a variant code. Now, just underneath that, you'll see stock, so which I don't think needs a elaboration. It means how many units of product do you have. However, if you are uploading a product that has variant, so in that case, you can just leave it blank. And just adjacent to that, you'll see threshold. So this is basically reorder level. So system will keep tracking the inventory, and as soon as it hits the reorder level, it will send you an update. So this is where, So this is where, for example, I have 100 units of stock and I'm setting up the threshold at 10. So as soon as the stock hits 10, it will send me a notification that this product is about to go out of stock, and please replenish the stock, so I can avoid accidental stock outs. Underneath that, you'll see minimum order quantity, so which in most cases will be 1. However, we also have a B2B capability. So members who utilize the B2B capability also create B2B products, and they have they specify a higher minimum order quantity for those kinds of products. After that, we have to specify the category. So I'm just referring to this section. So this is where you have to specify the category. Now, while you are creating a new store, it will definitely not have an existing category. So this is where you have to click on add category, and which will open an overlay, and you have to specify the category there. So I think it is getting open, but yeah, so let me also clear the annotation. So this is the overlay which got opened, and trust me, there's no problem with the platform. It is my internet and laptop which is causing the issue today. So this is the overlay which gets opened, and here you'll see the category and subcategory. So category is, for example, we are uploading shoes, so we'll add shoes as the main category and sports as the subcategory. So this is the level 1 or the parent, and this is the child category. We can also add filters, but for now, I'll just skip that, and we'll click on save. And the category is added. So you can see the category is added. Now, the next element that you'll see on the screen is brand. So this is where you have to specify the brand in case you're dealing in branded items. So this is an optional field. So if you have to add a brand, then you have to just click on add brand. This overlay will open up. So you have to type brand name, and you can upload the logo. If you want, you can note down the dimensions of that logo. So it is 200 pixel by 60 pixel, what you have to add. Underneath that, you'll see product labels and tags. So these are for promotional purposes, and if time permitted, I'll try to explain about them. Otherwise, you can join me in the evening session, which I'll be tomorrow, and that's where we can have this discussion around product labels and tags. And then you'll see product condition, which is new, used, or refurbished. So if you deal in used and refurbished item, you can use this, and then you'll see an option to add PDF and file. So this is again relevant to certain industry. In certain industries, it is kind of customary to add or share technical specification document or brochure with the customer when they are reviewing the product. So if you also have that kind of requirement, then you can use this feature. So this is where your customer will see a download brochure option or download technical specification document options. So they can click on it and they'll be able to download a PDF or an image. So you can choose appropriately. If you want to upload a PDF, you can do that. Or if you want to upload an image, so basically a image file, so you can also do that as per your requirement. And then moving down, this is where you'll see product description. So this is the section where you can add the additional information. So I was suggesting that this is in the summary section, you just basically briefly summarize the product. Whereas in this section, you have that flexibility. You can add the additional information here. So for example, just talking hypothetically, if you are uploading a laptop, in that case, what you would have done, you would have just added a brief note about the laptop and then listed out the important specifications here. Now, the rest of the specification, because laptop will have a lot of technical information that you would want to share with the customer, that information can be added here in the long description section. All right, and just underneath that, you'll see the option to add dimensions and weight. And why so? Why do we have to add dimensions and weight of the product? What is the use? So dimensions and weight of the product are used to calculate the delivery fee if you want to calculate it on the basis of weight. So that's where this information is used. However, you may not have this information handy. So in that case, it can be added at a later stage as well. So it is not mandatory that you have to add it here, right now. You can add it at a later stage as per your convenience. Now comes the most important section here. And this is where we'll be adding variants of this product. So we are uploading a sports shoes, and shoes comes with variant. So same shoe available in different sizes. So this is where we'll be adding variant and how it is done. So this is the section. So it has basically two sections. So first is the attribute name, and the second is values. Now, firstly, we'll be talking about the attribute name. So attribute name, if you understand this again with the example, so we are uploading a sport shoes, and how are the different variants different? So we have a size 7, we have a size 8, we have a size 9, we have a size 10. How are they different? They are different on the basis of size. So the basis of variation is size. So that's exactly what you have to specify here, that what is the basis of variation. So for us, the basis of variation in this example is size. Now, if we were uploading, let's say, a hair conditioner, in that case, it would have been volume. Or if we were uploading a mobile phone that has different RAM variant, in that case, it will change to RAM. So accordingly, as per your business and product requirement, you can choose appropriate terminology here. Please don't use too technical one, which confuses the customer, something that customer can relate to. And then you have values. So this is the second section, or the adjacent section. And this is where we have to define the values. Now, how it is done, I'll just quickly show you. So this here, for example, one of the size is size 7. So you have to just select or type the size. So this is the size 7. The moment you press comma, system will accept it. So size 7 is done, size 8 also. And if I scroll down, so this is where you can see that 2 rows have started appearing. Let me do that once again. So size 9, I've typed it. Now I'm pressing comma, and you can see system creates a row for that. And let's also create the fourth one, that is size 10. So here you can see the 4 variants are created. And then you have the option to upload separate images. But why so? And issue is the same. So even if you are buying a size 10 or you're buying a size 7, they'll all look the same. So it is not needed in most of the industry, but in certain industries, for example, cosmetics. So they'll have different types of bottle for each of the different pack sizes they'll have. So they'll have a bottle design for 100 ml, they'll have a different bottle design for 500 ml. So if there are different images, or for example, in garments, there are products of different colors. So for example, the same t-shirt is available in red, black, and blue. So you will have to upload the red t-shirts image for the red variant, black t-shirts image for the black variant, and blue t-shirts image for the blue variant. And that is exactly why this particular capability is here. So I'll just clear that. Then you'll see images, then you'll see SKU codes, and which you'll see based on the SKU code that we had entered there. So just let me clear that. So based on the SKU code that we have entered here, you can see it has created SKU codes for our convenience. Now, it is not necessary that we use the same SKU code. We can make modifications to it. And adjacent to that, you'll see the selling price, which again is the MRP of the product. But this is again for each of the variant. So for example, if size 10 is 100 rupees expensive as compared to size others 3 sizes, then we can easily do that. So size wise variation, which is not very critical in this kind of a product, but for a perfume, or for a shampoo, or for a edible item like rice, dal, etc., there is a significant price difference between each of the variant, and that needs to be added for each of the variant, and that's why this provision is there. Then you also get a provision to add separate stock for each of the variant, which is highlighted here. So that can also be added. Right now, one thing lastly I just thought of highlighting, that is, if you click on edit details, it will open an overlay, and this is where you'll see most of the information that is there, which we were seeing on the rows. It is there, but you will see this one more element here, which is kind of a surprise for a lot of people. You're also seeing a summary section here. Why so? What is happening? Why 3 different summary sections there? So I'll just let me just close this and explain this with an example. So this is where I recommended that you briefly describe the product. This is where you can add the long description. What is this for? So this is again specific to certain industries. And if we try to understand that with an example, so for example, you are a mobile phone seller and you want to upload mobile phones, and the same phone is available in different RAM configuration, 4 GB, 6 GB, and 8 GB. Now, in addition to having different RAMs, they also have a different camera, or they may have different battery, or they may have a different processor. How will that information get shared with the customer? Because the information that you'll be adding here in the summary will remain common to all the variant, because the description or technical information for a shoe will always remain the same, irrespective you're buying a size 9 or you're buying a size 11, right? But for a technical product, it may change. So that's why you have this additional capability which you can utilize. Then comes the last section, which you'll see here, that is search engine optimization related information. That is the meta information update, which can be added from here. So this is where you can add a meta title, meta keyword, and meta description. But most of you may not have this information handy while you are uploading the product or you are creating your online store. So it can be added at a later stage as well. But this is a critical piece of information. So please do add it, but it can be added at a later stage. All right, now as a last step, let's upload the images. And how do you do that? Very easy. You have to just click on the image icon, and then you have to click on the blue icon, which will open the image manager. Now, image manager serves two purposes. One is to allow you to upload the images from your device. It also acts like a repository of your images. So if 3 months down the line, you want to take out the brochure, the banner that you had used, or a logo that you had used, all that will be available here. So what we'll do is we'll use this folder, which is product images, and we'll click on upload, and we'll quickly upload product images from our device. So I'll just I think I have the store shoes images here. So I'll just upload all of them. So I don't have to do that one at a time. I can upload all of them to the image manager, and then I can do the allocation. So this is the cover image that I am choosing, and then I will choose the next one, and then I'll choose the next one. So in total, you can upload 6 images like this, but I'll just upload a couple of them only. Now, at this stage, we get a very common question: what should be the ideal dimension and size of the image? So ideal dimension wise, if you're uploading a portrait image, so that's a vertical rectangle. So if you're uploading a portrait image, then the ideal dimensions are 800 pixel by 1000 pixels. So it is 800 pixel wide and 1000 pixel tall. However, if you are uploading a rectangular image or a square image, in that case, or a 1:1 ratio image, in that case, recommended dimensions are 1500 pixel by 1500. 1000 by 1000 will also work, but the zoom will not be very nice. So if you want to give that nice experience to the customer, in that case, recommended that you upload 1500 by 1500 pixel. Now, in terms of size or MB size of the image, the lower the better, because that affects the load speed of your site. So the smaller possible size that you can achieve without compromising on the clarity of the image, you should use that. So we are almost done on adding the information here, and we will just quickly move on to the next screen. But before we do that, just a quick question: if you have anything related to this particular screen, the information that I have shared about manual product upload process, so please ask your question, and then we'll quickly move on to the next screen and next stages of our eStore creation journey. So, all right, so I'm seeing there are 2 questions related to the search engine optimization section that we have at the bottom of the screen. And this is where you have to add meta title, meta keyword, and meta description. Now let's first understand the usability of these sections. And for that, let's quickly go to the Google. And this is where I will just search for buy shoes. And this page opens up. Now I'm just avoiding the marketplaces results that are coming on the top. And I'm just moving down. And this is where, so let me just try to annotate and show it to you, right? So this is a meta title that we were discussing there. And this is the meta title here. So what all you'll be adding there will be displayed here in the meta title when the customer is seeing the result on the search engine. So this is the meta title, and this is where you have the 60 character limit. And this is typically created by a search engine expert or a SEO expert. However, if you want to do this, you can also do it. There's a lot of tutorial content available on the internet, and Google has done it fantastic job in creating that support content, so you can review it, and I believe within a day you'll be able to understand how you can create. But more importantly, what it is doing is, as a person, as a common person, if I'm looking at this information, it is helping me understand about this website. So this is Liberty Shoes by Men and Women Footwear online at I believe the best prices was the word or the term which is not displayed, but at least it is giving me a clarity on in terms of what this website is about, right? Now, the second piece of information which is displayed here is this one, which is typically in gray color. And this is the meta description, which on our seller panel is the third piece of information. This is the meta description. And this is where within 180 characters, you have to define what is there on this page. So this where again, you can see Liberty Shoes, one-stop shop for all footwear shopping in India. Discover the latest collection of men, women, kids, and sandals. So just by looking at this information, you are able to understand this is a pan-India brand, and they have products for men, women, kids, and they also have sandals. So all that is just clear by reading this piece of information. Whereas what will happen if you have not added this information? So in that scenario, what will happen is the product title that you're adding here will be used as meta title, which is not very clear or evident. And the description or the summary that you are adding here will be used as meta description, which is also not clear, because when you were creating the summary, you are not trying to squeeze the information into 180 characters, which is you have to do here. So including spaces in 180 characters, you have to let the person understand what is there for them on this page. Why should they come to this page? So that's the meta title and description. You might be wondering what happened to meta keyword, which was in between. So meta keyword is where you have to add 6 to 10 keyword, and you can utilize the Google keyword planner and search trends to understand what are the common trends or keywords or phrases to your industry, and you can add those. It is advised that to emphasis more on not the generic keywords, which is kind of used by everyone, every site on the planet, was to have more focus on certain keywords which are unique to your business. So either a localized keyword that will give you local edge, or something unique that you're doing. So there's an art form that you sell. So based on that, you can add those keywords. So I hope I have answered the question about the search engine related information. And I think those were the 2 questions. So there's a another question, can we change refurbish to off specs as more relevant for? So for B2B, sir, we have an entire module that is available. So it's not part of the DIY free store. It is a premium solution which is available, and that's a very extensive capability which is available, which you can utilize for the B2B business. All right, so for now, what I'll do is I'll click on next and we'll move on, quickly move on to the next screen. I can see in the clock we have already exceeded the timeline, and I'll try to be as quick as possible without taking a lot of your time. So we have reached the stage 4, and this is where now we can move fairly quickly. So stage 4 is entirely about payments. And this is where you'll see a number of payment gateways which are pre-integrated onto the platform. And as I'll start with the first one that you're seeing on the top, that is EasyPay Pro. And this is a payment gateway by ICICI Bank, and it is exclusive for ICICI Bank current account holders. So if you are a ICICI Bank current account holder and they are giving really nice rates to their current account holders, so in that case, you can utilize this. If you want, you can also apply for ICICI Bank current account hold from here. Now, how to apply for ICICI Bank EasyPay Pro payment gateway? Very simple. You have to just click on apply, and that will take you to ICICI Bank infrastructure. That's where you have to enter, and that's where it is only for ICICI Bank customers. And because the bank already have your KYC, so it gets instantly activated, and you'll receive merchant ID and secret key. So you have to just enter them, enable it, and start utilizing it. So that was ICICI Bank EasyPay Pro. Just underneath that, you'll see Razorpay, which is also India's leading payment gateway provider. And this is where you'll see the different charges which are there. So these are payment method-wise fees that Razorpay will be taking from you based on what payment method your customer is choosing to pay to you. Now, you would also want to understand how you can get Razorpay activated. So what is the process? So for that, you have to just click on apply for Razorpay, and you'll see these two input fields, which is merchant name and email ID. So you have to just add this information and then click on submit. This information will go to our payment activation team, who will reach out to you, and they will help you in the application submission and KYC process. And once the account gets approved, they'll also help you out in activating it. So that was about Razorpay. Let's quickly move on to the next payment method, which is Paytm payment gateway. And Paytm payment gateway is seamlessly integrated to the platform, and it also has a special offering for the GlobalLinker members. So this is where I'll just quickly scroll down, and like Razorpay, they are also displaying the charges that will be their payment method wise. So if the customer is paying through debit card, then what will be the charges, etc. And this is where the benefit that you're getting is here. And this is where all the transactions that are coming to you through UPI or RuPay, sorry. So all the transactions that are coming to you using RuPay or RuPay are at nil, which means no TDR fee is charged. So if the transaction was for 1,000 rupees, you'll get the entire 1,000 rupees. No transaction fee will be charged. So that's a special benefit that you'll get here. Additionally, all the TDR charges that you're seeing here, they are also deep discounted for the GlobalLinker members, and you also get that special benefit. Now, how do you apply for Paytm payment gateway? Again, very simple. You have to click on this button, which will basically open a form. You have to fill this form, and once you have filled this form, then you have to just click on step 2. I think I have to also add the address. Right, and then it will take you to the step 2. This is where you have to upload the KYC documents, and what document you have to upload is also highlighted here. So if you click on the down arrow, it will expand and it will show you what documents you have to enter. And finally, once you have uploaded all the documents, just click on submit. The application will go to the Paytm team, and they will approve it in 3 to 5 working days if all the information that you have provided is as per the documents and there's no mismatch, etc. So once the application is approved, they'll send you merchant ID and secret key, which you have to enter here, click enable and click on save, and you'll start utilizing the Paytm payment gateway. The next payment gateway that you'll see here is CC Avenue, which is one of India's oldest payment solution provider. And this is where, again, you can apply seamlessly to for CC Avenue payment activation. For that, you have to click on apply button, and which will open this form. You have to fill up this form and click on submit. The application goes to CC Avenue team, who will reach out to you for the KYC requirement, and you have to provide the KYC documents. Once the account is activated, you can enter the API details here, and the account goes live, and you'll be able to start utilizing CC Avenue. The next payment method that you'll see here is cash on delivery, and you can see it is enabled. Now, a common question, especially that comes from the members who are already in e-commerce trade or who have done the e-commerce trade, and they know to offer cash on delivery, you need to have a contract with a courier company. Without having that, you can't offer cash on delivery. So how is it possible here? So because GlobalLinker wanted to simplify this process and also to offer this facility to the members who would ideally or otherwise may not be able to have this, and this where the company has a master contract with GlobalLinker, and or using the GlobalLinker's master contract, you can start offering cash on delivery service to your customers. And this where the second question comes, which is related to cash on delivery. What is the payment cycle? So the payment cycle for cash on delivery is weekly. So all the orders that you're delivering in this week will get settled in the next week. Just underneath that, you'll see another method which got evolved or got developed on the request of our members. And this is more particularly used by members who are in the industrial category, or who's don't have enough margin to accommodate the TDR fees being levied by the payment provider. So in that case, what they do is they enter their bank details here, and then when their customer has placed an order, they have to put an additional effort to ensure that they have received the payment from the customer. Once the payment is received, they can mark the order as payment successful, and that's where that order can be processed. So that's the offline payment method. And now moving on to the last payment provider that you're seeing on the screen, and which is also one of the world's largest payment provider, which is PayPal, and extremely popular when it comes to international payment acceptance. So this is the payment solution which you are seeing on the screen. And it is again seamlessly integrated onto the platform. So if you already have a PayPal account, then very easy, you can just click here and you can link it. If you don't have a PayPal account, then need not worry, you can apply from it for PayPal activation directly from here. So you don't even have to go to PayPal's website. You can do it right here in this overlay which is getting opened. So that's a flexibility or convenience that is available here. Now, in addition to this, I would like to highlight that PayPal also offers instant activation. So if you have verified your email ID and added your bank details, your account goes instantly activated, and that's where you can start accepting payments from your customer. However, the settlement will start only happening once the KYC process is completed, and KYC process typically takes 3 to 5 working days. So this was about the different payment methods which are pre-integrated onto the platform. Now, payment is a very important part of the e-commerce ecosystem. So I'll take a small pause here. And if there are any questions related to the payment part, please do feel free to ask your questions. You can chat your question, or you can ask the question using the Q&A section. So I don't see any questions coming through. So that's where I'm assuming there are no questions related to the payment management part, and that's where I'll click on next, and we'll quickly navigate to the next screen. I can see there's one question that has come. I am not. No, Payoneer is not integrated onto the platform. Only these payment gateways are integrated at the moment. However, we keep on integrating and introducing new payment providers from time to time. So the list keeps growing from time to time. So let's move on to the next step. I'll just quickly have a look. So EasyPay tariffs will be shared by the ICICI Bank's team. You can connect with them, or otherwise I'll get those shared with you. So I'll click on next, and we'll quickly move on to the next screen, or the last stage in the eStore creation flow. And this is where you'll see the different logistic operators which are pre-integrated onto the platform. And this is where on top you'll see ShipLite, which is a logistic aggregator, and then you'll see Bombership, which is also a logistic aggregator, and then you'll see VFast and Dunzo. Both of them are a hyperlocal delivery provider, and Aramax is integrated for international deliveries. So these are the logistic operators which are pre-integrated onto the platform, and all you have to do at this stage is to click on enable to activate them, and then you can later for ShipLite, it is required to have an account. So you, like the payment gateway, you have to go through an activation process and you can start utilizing it. However, for Bombership, VFast and Dunzo, you don't have to do that because all of them work on GlobalLinker's master account. So this is where you can these operators, you can start utilizing them directly. Also for Aramex and for international deliveries, they have a activation or sign up process. So, all right, so this is very simple and straightforward. And now, in addition to that, how do you charge delivery fee from the customer? And for that, we have the shipping zone. So I'll just briefly take you through. This is a extensive, setting up shipping zone is a topic in itself. So we'll not spend a lot of time here, but I'll just quickly show you a glance of this. So this is where you can also set up estimated time, and that is where the system will keep tracking the delivery. So for all the automated logistic operators which are integrated onto the platform, system keeps tracking the delivery. So the moment you have shipped the products, so till the time it is delivered, it keeps tracking, and once it is delivered, it automatically updates the status, so you don't have to manually do that. Now, in addition to that, it also keeps verifying the duration with what duration you have specified here. And in case the packet has exceeded this limit, in that case, so for example, if I specify 2 days here, so if it exceeds 2 days, in that case, it will send me a notification that this particular item hasn't reached its destination. Can you please check? And that's where I can act proactively and check what has happened with this order, and also inform the customer accordingly, rather than getting into a reactive kind of a situation where customer is following up what has happened to my order, and then I realize that it hasn't reached on time. So that's the estimated time capability. Now you can set up the zone based on the location which you are seeing here. So for example, I want to set it up for my location. So to select the country and then select the state, and I can select the city then, and then if I want, I can keep adding more locations to it. And it is not necessary that I go all the way down to the city level. I can also set them up on the state level. So as per my requirement, I can set that up. I also get a flexibility to enable or disable cash on delivery for certain location, and which is kind of customary in India. Especially there are certain locations which are hotspots for RTOs. So you can avoid getting into that kind of scenario by deactivating cash on delivery for those regions. And then you can also charge a cash on delivery convenience fee, whether it is a flat fee or a percentage of order value. When it comes to calculating delivery fee, you can calculate it per item by fixed rate or based on the cart value, that is the order value of or on the basis of the weight of the item. So all the options are available here. For the timing, we'll just keep it at default. You also get a provision to add warehouse. When I say warehouse, it does not literally mean warehouse. It means if order pickup location. So that can be your factory, that can be your residence or your second showroom, your fifth showroom, wherever the product is. If you want to get the pickup done from a place other than your store address, which you have added in the address information, you can do that by adding the address from here. We also have the pickup from store capability, which kind of got evolved during the pandemic itself. And that's where instead of you delivering the product to the customer gets this flexibility that they can come to your store, pick the product and go away. That's where they are also saving on the delivery time and also reducing their exposure as compared to just physically coming and taking out all the product and then spending that much time there. So that is pick up from store. If it is relevant to your business, you can utilize it. So this is where I'll just quickly click on next, and we'll just quickly complete this process. And then after that, we'll have a question answer round. So if there is any query that you have about the shipping or logistic part, we'll answer that at that stage. So we are on the final stage, and this is where what you're seeing on your screen is the admin or store owner's view. And this is where you get these yellow dots, which are used for two purposes. One is to change the color scheme. Second is to upload banners. And I'll just quickly show how it is used. The top section of the website is not looking nice. This black color is not looking nice. So let's change it. To change that, you have to just click on the yellow dot and this overlay will open up here. The moment you click, you'll see a color selector opens up. Now you can use this if you have your own brand guideline or if you have your own color scheme. In that case, you can just copy paste the color code there. So for example, I want to change it to, let's say, a light bluish. So this kind of color, I can do that. I can also change the transparency of the color if required, but this one is looking nice. So I'll just keep that. Now the header is not going well with the logo that we have uploaded. So let's change that as well. So I'll just quickly change that to white. So it starts looking nice, but my navigation has disappeared. Not a problem. I can bring it back fairly quickly. So I'm not sure if you observed that, but it took me literally less than a minute to do all this. And now you can see our site is looking a lot different what it was looking 1 minute ago. So that's how easily you can do that. Now, this is not limited to the header section. I'm just showing you the header section. These yellow dots, you'll find them across the site. So any page across all the pages, so you can customize the color scheme very easily. Now, the second part is uploading banner, and this is where I'll click on the yellow dot and then I'll click on the plus icon and I can select the banner. So I'll just quickly do that. And once again, we'll use the image manager for this purpose. And I'm just going back to my device and I'll select the banners from here. Now here, because you would also want to know what should be the sizes of the banner. So we have also provided that information. So here you can see this is the size for the desktop banner and this is the size for mobile banner. Now you might be wondering why to upload two separate banners. Don't you have a mobile responsive capability? Yes, we do have mobile responsive capability, but the situation is, or the logic is that one, even if we are resizing this banner, it will still have a large size and it will adversely affect the load speed on the mobile. Second is that the banner is not designed for mobile. It is designed for desktop. So if you are resizing it, obviously it will not look nice as compared to a banner that is designed for a mobile screen. And that's where uploading a separate banner for mobile comes into play. And in the similar fashion, you can do that. For the benefit of time, I will not do that. Now, the second thing that you would want to do is to link this banner. So customer clicks on it, they land somewhere. So that can easily be done. So for example, I want to put this link. I can do that, copy paste it here. click on apply, and the banner is getting loaded. So we can, in the similar fashion, we can upload more banners, but I'll not do that for the benefit of time. This is the banner that we have uploaded. A related question that gets asked is, will our customer also see all these yellow dots and these empty placeholders? No, they will not see all this. This is only visible to the store owners. So it just basically highlights the different components which are there, which you can utilize to showcase certain information. All right, so as the last step, we'll click on save and we'll click on publish, and the eStore is created. So this is how easily you'll be able to create an online store for your business. So this is where we'll just stop, and now I'll also stop sharing my screen, and now I invite questions from your side. So if there are questions, queries, please feel free to ask the question. I think there were 2 questions already there. So someone wanted to see the custom domain addition process. So I'll also show that. And we show our QR code. I'm not display. We display our QR code. I'm not entirely clear, but if you want to add your UPI payment code there, in that case, you can use the offline payment method, but I'll recommend why not use Paytm. They are also not charging any payment fee, especially when the customer is paying you through UPI. So one of the question that I'm seeing from Mr. Vishal Jain, we display QR code. I am not entirely clear if you are referring to the QR code which is used on stores to collect payment from the customers, UPI QR codes or Paytm QR codes. If that is the question, then the Paytm payment gateway is also available and you can utilize it. But to be more precise to your question, yes, we have the online payment capability, and that's where you can add your QR details or your UPI details, and your customers will be able to use that. Yeah, so to answer Mrs. Sanjay's question, what I'll be doing is I'll be chatting my contact details to everyone. So please drop me a WhatsApp message and I'll get you connected. So, and also, if you need any assistance, if you need any clarification with your eStore setup, please feel free to reach out to me. All right, so this is where I'll just quickly resume my screen share for a moment, because one of the members had asked me to show the process how the custom domain can be pointed. So I'll just quickly do that. It will hardly take a minute. So to point your own domain onto the eStore, you have to click on online store, and then you have to click on settings. And then you have to click on enter store URL. And this is the section which you'll be using to point your domain. So you can see there is a 5-step process. So in the first step, you enter your store URL and click on submit domain. If you already have a SSL, you can skip this stage. Otherwise, you can also buy an SSL from here. In this stage, you have to generate a CSR, which you can do by adding these details, which are general detail about your organization, state, province, etc. So you can generate a CSR, and you can use that CSR to issue the SSL certificate. So a lot of players like GoDaddy and all have this provision, but players like I'm forgetting the operator's name, HostGator, they don't have a provision where you can add a SSL. So in that case, you can just use the private key from there. So depending on your provider, and a lot of providers generally like GoDaddy or Big Rock, they have a provision where you have to enter the CSR. So you have to just generate the CSR. It will give you a code which you have to copy and then paste while issuing the SSL certificate. Once the SSL certificate is issued, you come here, you copy paste the code that you have received from the SSL service provider. The private key will get automatically populated, and then you validate it. Once it is validated, you go to the last stage, and this is where you have to go to your domain service providers. For example, if you have bought the domain from GoDaddy, so you go to GoDaddy's account, and that's where in the DNS settings you have to add a record, and this is the value, and then you have to add a CNAME, and these are the values, and this is how you'll be able to point the domain live on your own, or point the eStore live onto your domain. So I hope I have answered that question. So I've answered about the question about the custom domain. So any more questions? Oh, sorry. So my name is Adnan, and I'm also sharing my email ID with everyone. Let me check if it is there's no typo. All right, so I've charted my email ID as well. Again, I'm not seeing any more questions coming in. So this is where I'm assuming that there are no more questions, more specific to Mrs. Sanjay Diwan's question. So I've chatted my contact details, sir, so you can drop me a WhatsApp message, and I'll get you connected with the relevant team. So if there are no more questions, then we can just conclude this webinar. But before I do that, any questions, any last minute questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, you all already have my contact number. So please feel free to reach out to me over the phone or over the WhatsApp, whichever is convenient to you. And once again, thank you everyone for taking out time and joining us here in this webinar. I really appreciate your presence. It has been a wonderful session, and thank you everyone. And now I'll be concluding this session. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.